this part of us, we want to, to me, if Daniel is responsible or Malaya is responsible, the mother or the grandpa, you want them to be held to account. But we can't say that they are, really, because they've all passed lie detector tests, and the police are not looking at them as suspects. Anyway, this is the thing about this case. It is a conundrum. As soon as I form one opinion, and I know people have got strong opinions about this case. People always do when it involves little children. But as soon as I form one opinion, and then something happens, and I think, oh, no, it can't be that because of this. It is complete mystery. Anyway, what we're going to start off with, I think, is the tour of the property. So we get an idea of, what we're looking at, because so Daniel Martell's mum, so Lily and Jack's step-grandmother, took a reporter on a tour of the property. So that's what we're going to look at first, I think, because this will give us an idea of the context that we're talking about, how remote this place is, so here we go. So this was May the 2nd, this year, 2025. And this is CBS Radio Canada, who this lady invited to do a tour of the property.
So this is the patio door?
This is the patio door.
That Jack and Lily would have...
That Jack and Lily came out of.
Okay. So it's the morning of May 2nd. Take me through what happened.
Okay, I was up at 6 o'clock, sat in there and had my tea. And then on Facebook, 7 o'clock.
So she said she got up at 6 o'clock. Now that's interesting because it was around about 6:15 that apparently Malaya contacted the school and told them that the children weren't coming in. So the children had been ill, but there'd also been a day where they didn't have to be at school. That particular week, they hadn't been in school much for one reason or another. The day before they disappeared, they were out with the family. It was captured on CCTV. So that was the last time they were seen alive on CCTV. Now, something that did occur to me, because apparently Malaya contacted the school very early, as I say, around about 6:15 on the Friday morning, and said the children would not be coming into school. Now, it just occurred to me that how do we know that that was Malaya who contacted the school? Because it was by email. It wasn't a phone call. It was very early in the morning. Obviously, she went on the school website or whatever and said the children wouldn't be in. Do we know for certain that was Malaya who did that? Just a question. In fact, as we're going, I'm going to be writing down some of the questions that I have. Not that I'm saying it wasn't Malaya. What I'm saying is, do we know for sure? Because the police have been very, very tight-lipped about this whole case. So we're not getting any, which is fair enough because it's an ongoing investigation. I understand that. But so that's one question I would like answered. Is it certain, that because I could get on, so anyone could get my phone or get my computer, go on it and send an email. And how would we know that email actually came from me and not somebody else? Do you see what I'm saying? So do we know it was Malaya for certain? Now, it may be that they have some proof somehow that it was Malaya. Maybe she has to give a Well, see, even if she has to give a password, really, anyone could know that password. That's why these new biometric systems are probably better, aren't they? Because then you know that it has to be the person, because they've got to use their fingerprint or their eye or whatever. But do we know for sure it was Malaya that contacted the school? So it obviously came from Malaya, like her registered account with the school, but was it her who sent that notification that the kids weren't coming in? You know, just something that struck me yesterday. I thought, how do we know Malaya sent that?
I get up, come over here, fed my chickens. My brother, Ron, called me at 8:48 and asked me if I wanted to go to town with him. And I said no. I said, I'm staying home. I said, I'm going back to bed. Okay, I went and I laid down. Next thing you know.
So she's got up at 6 o'clock. She's been on Facebook. She's been awake all that time. And then at 8:48, so quite a bit later, and a couple of hours after Malaya supposedly contacted the school and said the children weren't in. This is, I think, where she says she saw them.
My dog started barking and the kids were out in the yard. Now you can see there's two swings.
So, you know, so some people think maybe the children were, you know, if it was Daniel that had anything to do with it, or Malaya, of course, a lot of people are saying maybe the children, something happened to them the night before. But if it did, then this lady is lying, because she says she saw them around about 9 o'clock that morning playing in the yard. So is she lying? She doesn't come over as being untruthful, but you know, you just never know, do you, with people? But I'm not saying she was lying. I'm just saying if she is truthful, what she's saying, then it's impossible that anything happened to Lily and Jack the night before.
Where the kids play. My bedroom is right there. I heard the kids. This is where the kids' swings are. This is where they always played.
And so that's where
I heard them. And I can hear everything in that trailer. If two kids get out of a fence, and Jack and Lily are all the time yelling.
Didn't she say she saw them, first of all? Let's have a look. Now she's saying she heard them.
Okay, I went and I laid down. Next thing you know, my dog started barking and the kids were out in the yard.
The kids were out in the yard, but she says but she didn't actually see them. She's saying she heard them. Did she hear them? Oh, look at their little faces, bless them. Their little faces. So did she actually see them, or did she just hear them? Or did she, then you think, did she, hearing the kids playing? Did she, or did she just think it was them because the dog was barking, she heard a noise and she thought it was them? Because your ears can play tricks on you, can't they? So she did not see them, she heard them.
Now you can see there's two swings where the kids play. My bedroom is right there. I heard the kids. This is where the kids' swings are. This is where they always played.
And so that's where
I heard them. And I can hear everything in that trailer. If two kids get out of a fence, and Jack and Lily are all the time yelling, especially Lily, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go, Jackie. It's all I hear out here. When the kids get out of the fence and come out through here, I would have heard them yelling, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go. I didn't hear anything. The next thing I heard is I heard Daniel yelling. He was yelling for Jack and Lily. I didn't get up because I thought he was yelling for Jack and Lily in the house. So the next thing you know, I was Come out of the trailer after I heard Daniel, about, I'd say, 10 minutes after I heard him, I come out of the trailer. I opened up the door, was standing here. Malaya was standing right here with Meadow on her hip. And I come out and I said, "What's up?" She said, "Jack and Lily are missing." I said, "How long?" She said, "About 20 minutes."
So this is what she's saying. She heard the children outside. So she's saying she definitely heard them, but not saw them. Then Daniel's come out screaming or shouting them. She didn't take any notice because she thought he was just calling them into the house. And then when she finally went out, Malaya's there with the baby on her hip, Meadow, and saying that they've disappeared. Now, I think from that we can see that, I mean, I don't know, was that gate open that they went through then? So she's saying they came out, there's a gate here, was it not locked? It's easy then for them to get out, I suppose. But I can't see that they've gone far. I don't know. But then later she does show them like a tree house type place they had. So maybe they did.
After I heard Daniel, about, I'd say, 10 minutes after I heard him, I come out of the trailer. I opened up the door, was standing here. Malaya was standing right here with Meadow on her hip. And I come out and I said, "What's up?" She said, "Jack and Lily are missing."
So if those kids did go out of that gate, then they sort of could have gone anywhere, really, couldn't they? But would they have, though? Why would they have? You know, I mean, Lily is 6 and Jack is 4. I presume they've lived there quite a while. Why would they have gone any further this time? And, you know, was that gate left open? Maybe it was left open by mistake.
I said, "How long?" She said, "About 20 minutes." I closed the door, got my boots on, came out here, ran up in the woods. Just right up here. The kids have a little fort that they made out of sticks and fir branches, and that's where they go.
So they do sometimes go into the woods. So that's something we're learning here. They do go into the woods because they've got their little den. You know, I remember that when I was a kid, we used to go and make dens. I don't know if kids still do that now. You know, I think people are frightened to death to let their kids out their sight now, aren't they, these days, in normal, I mean, different on a rural property. But yeah, when I was young, even on the council estate where I lived, we would go and make dens. There was a place where there was a lot of bushes and we would go, and it wasn't as close as that is. You know, it was really, when I think about it, God, if you thought your kids were going out there playing in these bushes, you'd be terrified, you know, at the thought of it, because we always used to play and make dens I mean, not miles away from our house, but, you know, not just literally next door like that, you know, maybe a 15-minute walk away. There was all these bushes where we used to play, make our dens and things. It's quite, I don't think kids do that these days, do they? Unless they live on rural properties. I do think people relax on rural properties.
So you can see them and hear them. We went for walks in the woods. I had to practically carry Jack through the woods because there was no way that he was walking through all that tree falls and bushes. I did this whole area. There's an old road up back.
Yeah, there's no way that little Jack at 4 years old would want to walk through all that. I don't think Lily would, but she was a little bit older, I suppose. They're not going to want to walk through all that. Now, if Lily wanted to go, and it sounds like Lily was the dominant one, like big sisters often are. If she was going, "Oh, come on, Jackie," like she was saying, "Come on, Jackie." But did they what? That is a possibility. This is one of the possibilities, that they've wandered off into all these woods and just got hopelessly lost, and then sadly maybe died, of exposure or whatever, or, it's possible, isn't it? But don't forget, everybody was looking for them. Surely, unless they actually had an accident and died, surely they would have been calling for help, even, they can't both have just died like that either. Sorry to be sort of graphic, but it's true. This again makes it unusual, being two children. If one children wandered off and could maybe have an accident and fall over, but the other child might just sit with them. But would they both have an accident just like that? They wouldn't both die instantly. Even in the river or whatever, surely there would. It's harder for two children at the same time to die of whatever accidental death, isn't it? Then what? Maybe something happened to one child, the other child surely would just sit there, and then when they heard people calling their name, because Daniel, according to him, was out there calling their name right afterwards. The police were all out, weren't they, searching for them, constant searches. I don't see how these two children, both of them, could have just died instantly. Maybe something happened to one, but why did the other one not shout for help or hear the searchers? It's like somebody just spirited them up into a spaceship or something. I mean, I hope somebody did spirit them away. I really do. I hope somebody somewhere has got these children and they're safe and alive, because I can't see how they can be alive if they're out there somewhere.
Got up to the top of the hill. I met Daniel, and I said to him, I said, "Did you find them?" He said, "No." He said, "You coming with me?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm going to search this area," because when she told me the kids were missing, you automatically think they went into the woods. That was my first instinct. Mm-hmm. So I went up and I did this whole area, this whole wooded area, right up to the top of the dirt road, came back down here and came back down the side of the road, came back down here and came back up the same spot. I went back into the house. By the time the cops were here, I don't know exactly what time, I didn't take my phone. The cops were here. There was a bench sitting here, or a sawhorse, it's over there, was sitting here. I was sitting on it, bawling my eyes out. I was crying because I blame myself for not getting up that morning to see the kids. Because if I would have got up, this wouldn't have never happened.
Oh.
Okay? That's why I was crying.
We've heard a lot about the patio door.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's go see that.
Sure.
So this is the patio door.
This is the patio door.
That Jack and Lily would have.
That Jack and Lily came out of.
Okay.
No, she's very forthcoming with everything. I mean, I think she doesn't come over to me like she's lying. What do you think? Let me know in comments. We all have our different views on things. When I watch her talking, I don't get a feeling that she's lying. But that doesn't mean say she isn't lying. This is a trouble. We don't know. You cannot. God, I wish they would invent something that could literally see inside people's heads. And you could tell if they were, I mean, a proper lie detector, like literally you could just beam it on their head and it would say it was either lie or truth. Because sometimes people do sometimes it is difficult to establish if someone's lying or not. To me, this lady comes over as being honest, but what do you think? Let me know. This is what I mean about this case. It is absolutely haunting me at the moment. It really is haunting me because I cannot see what happened. Anyway, she's very forthcoming to the reporter. Come, have a look. This apparently is the door that Jackie and Lily would have gone out of. And I'm sure Daniel said something like, it would have made a noise. But you'll notice when this reporter opens it, it does not make a noise. So I don't know. It's a very insignificant noise, isn't it? And as the lady points out in a moment, the bedroom of Daniel and Malaya is right up the other end of the mobile home.
And so tell us why we've heard about the patio door.
Because everybody's saying on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok that the patio door makes a noise. And why they didn't hear the door open. The bedroom is back there, okay?
Yeah.
That far window.
The last window is the bedroom.
And so they would have come out this door.
They would have come out this
that
door.
morning.
Yes.
And then they went and played on the swing set.
Yes.
And that's when you heard them.
That's when I heard them. Right here in this area here.
You know, what do you think? I mean, she comes over as being honest, I think, but, you know, that when we watched, if you've, you know, I'll put the playlist, the link to the playlist in the description to this video. When we watched Daniel's last interview with DT, there were a few things that he said that didn't sit right with me, because he said you know, he was asleep and he wouldn't have heard Malaya if she got up, blah, de, blah, de, blah. But he also said that he remembered Lilly coming into the room, their bedroom, a couple of times. So was he asleep or was he awake? You know, it can't be both. If he was awake enough to see Lilly come into the bedroom and tell her to shush, maybe he would have heard that door open. But I don't think it's allowed. You know, and maybe Jack and Lilly opened it quietly, you know, because they knew maybe that they weren't supposed to leave the trailer. It's a shame they haven't got CCTV actually around the trailers, isn't it, to see them coming out or whatever. But do you know, the thing is, when you watch this and it hasn't given me any more insight, in fact, it's made things even more confusing. I have absolutely no idea where to go with this case or what to think.
I plan on putting a pool up this year for the kids. You need level ground for a pool. That's what I was doing. I was leveling out the ground to set up the pool.
And this is the Thursday.
This is Thursday.
Right.
Friday, all the investigators, search and rescue and everything, right around here was where they found the only footprint.
This is where the boot.
This is where I was raking that night. That's where the boot print was found, in the mud.
That's where the boot print was found? I thought it was found a long way away from there. I mean, that literally is just outside the trailers and everything. And why just one boot print? I just don't get it. Where's the other prints? Why would they only find one boot print? There's another mystery, isn't it? I mean, you know.
Where I was raking.
I thought there was two boot prints.
There was supposed to be a footprint found away up on the pipeline.
Right.
Malaya sent me the picture of it. That's all I know. There was a footprint found.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, the footprint was here. The only one that they can confirm that was Lilly and Jack's was right here.
So it was child size.
Yes, a man, one of the investigators came in here and was measuring it all. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to lie. The reason why I wanted you guys to come here and do the interview here is to show you exactly where everything took place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And to show people that this is what happened. All the stuff that people, all the rumors and accusations about us murdering the kids and burying them on the property, this place has been searched thoroughly. The well has been checked, the septic tank, all the barns were searched. My RV was searched 3 times. The trailer was searched. This whole place was searched. If they want to come back and search again, they're more than welcome.
You've talked about drones flying over your property. You've
Yes.
talked about cars driving down the road and
Yes.
slowing down. What's that been like?
I'm scared to go out sometimes in my own property. I mostly stay around back here. And if I do go out front for anything, I usually have my head down because I don't want people to see who I am. That is me myself. It's not because I'm hiding from anybody. I don't like to be on camera. I don't like my picture taken. I'm just a quiet person that just wants to be left alone, and I mind my own business. I'm just a hermit.
Do you feel as if the finger has been pointed towards you and Daniel?
Yes, I do. Because I live on the property.
Oh, what do you think? What do you think? She doesn't talk about Jack and Lily much, does she? Or she did get upset and say she felt that if she would have come up, but she's not like, saying, "Oh, I hope Jack and Lily are okay," or, "Oh God, totally confused."
Come on.
Do you think your son had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No, I don't believe Daniel had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily. Our heart don't lie, and my heart is telling me that my kid did not have nothing to do with this,
No.
and I had nothing to do with this. You know, if something bad happens, you get like your heart drops. Mine hasn't dropped. Deep down in my heart, I do believe Jack and Lily are alive. It's not because of what people are saying. It's my heart tells me that they are alive.